Hello, hello, my beloved group, amazing women. My apology, first of all, that what was supposed to be live stream did not work this morning. So I was already half an hour into my presentation until I got this telephone call from Tonette, my beautiful friend. And she said, "Where are you? We are waiting." And that's when I have been made aware that I was not live. Technology, I'm not too good with it, obviously, but it used to be easy until Facebook changed things around, and now things are not connected the way they used to be connected. Without further ado, okay, so here is what I wanted to share with you today. First of all, starting with the 3 things you need to do. We are talking about how to influence your DNA, how to switch on the good genes and turn off the not so good ones, right? Because we are all born with the DNA that came from our parents, and it's just what we are born with. But that does not mean that this is your destiny. Your DNA is responsible for a lot of things. But when it comes to your health, I mean, it decides, your shape, your skin tone, your hair, your eyes, so much. But when it comes to your health, those genes can be depend on the environment in which they're in. And Dr. Bruce Lipton was the one who really made us aware of that. And he calls it epigenetics, which means above genetics. And that means the environment can influence the genes, the bad genes, not to be turned on. That's why identical twins very often have different, even though they have identical DNA, but their DNA may act and be impressed on their health and on their life in a different way, depending on which environment they live in. Environment is also the food you eat, how your lifestyle. Your lifestyle is really the environment. And of course, if you are in a clean or polluted environment, so the outside, yes, but your lifestyle is and your lifestyle also means your thoughts. Your mind is a very powerful part of the whole chemistry in your body. So that's why I'm saying that some people say, well, I cannot change my DNA. No, you cannot change it, but you can affect it in a way of what turns on and what switches off, what will not be expressed and what will be expressed. Okay, so here we go into the 3 things you need to do in order to improve your health, which means it has an effect on your DNA. And the environment, give it the environment so that your DNA acts in the most positive way. Contrast therapy, which is really cold and hot therapy combined. It has been found that in Norway or in Scandinavia, most families have saunas. Well, it's usually colder country. I live in the Bahamas, so I don't really need a sauna, especially in the summertime. I just go outside and it's hot. But of course, a sauna is very specific, so a sauna, and that's why in Scandinavia, people are healthier, for example, than in the United States. That's not the only reason that they have saunas, but it helps because it strengthens your immune system. And of course, when you go have a sauna, then you also have a cot. So you have that heat and cold therapy, which in our life, everything is a cycle or is a zigzag. Something goes up and then it comes down, the other goes up and comes down, cycles and ups and downs. I mean, that's what life is all about. It's all a movement. So heat and cold therapy strengthens the immune system. It reduces inflammation. And when it reduces inflammation, it actually reduces pain in your body. And it helps you recover from strenuous exercise. It also helps you recover mentally, actually. You know, when you're under a lot of stress, going in the sauna, a cold shower, whatever, your mental balance is restored. It also improves healing. Okay, so all of that is a way of healing. Restoration is healing, right? It induces better sleep, and it has shown to extend a healthy lifespan, because when you sleep better, your body can repair itself better. Your DNA can repair itself, because the DNA is also vulnerable to attacks and to fracturing, you know, in certain, or splitting in certain places. But the body, including the DNA, has its desire to be whole, to repair itself. And if you give it the right environment, it will do just that. Research has also found that besides strengthening the heart, because, you know, when you go into a hot environment, your pulse goes up, you know, the heat in your body needs to be within a certain period. It will never be as hot as it is outside. Outside, for example, right now in the summer in Phoenix, I think it's up to 112 degrees or 117 degrees. That was the highest. That would kill you if that would be your internal body temperature, right? So your body always tries to preserve a healthy span of between cold and hot. It can go in either direction to a certain degree and for a certain period of time. So the length at which you stay in a hot environment and a cold environment is important as well. And it is, well, it makes sense, right? When you think about it, that you can stay longer in heat than longer in the extreme cold. Extreme heat, but when it comes to showers, hot showers or saunas, you want to stay maybe in the heat, in that induced heat for 10 minutes, up to 15 minutes, but not longer. And then you go into the opposite. You go into, that's the therapeutic part of it. You go from heat into cold, and the cold is a much shorter period. It's maybe just a minute, up to 3 minutes max, you know. Some people do cold therapy and they just go into the cold into an ice bath for up to 5 or some even 10 minutes, but you cannot do this from the start. You know, you have to get your body used to that. And that's not really under normal circumstances. It is done for fibromyalgia or for MS, I believe. They have these longer ice baths and all of that. So there are for specific therapeutic conditions that should be under, you know, you should have somebody with you, and also who says that this is the right thing for you to do. So a health professional would be important to advise you there. Okay, so what if you, actually it also, this cold and hot therapy, because it strengthens your entire system. It strengthens your immune system. So it's a preventative for cancer and heart disease. Make sense? Okay. So what do you do if you don't have a sauna? You take what you have. If you have a bathtub, you can take a hot bath, starting with, what your body can take. And then while you're in the already hot, but not too hot bath, you can let more hot water slowly come in, so the temperature can rise even a little bit more while you are in the bath. But don't stay in there too long either. 10 minutes is definitely good enough. And then get out and then go in the cold shower from there. Okay, that's all you have to do. And it's so therapeutic. If you don't have a hot bath, then you use your shower for both hot and cold. Okay, what does it do? Also, it improves your mood. It does. It improves the environment, as I said before, where your DNA switches on and off, and it promotes the good genes, and it turns off the not so good genes. The defective signals are, suppressed. It improves your sleep. This therapy, this cold hot therapy improves your sleep. It improves brain function. It improves brain function. Yes. It increases energy in your body. Yes, you will feel more energy in your body. It lowers your stress because it activates your parasympathetic nervous system. You see, we have the sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic nervous system. It's like, they both are important. And the sympathetic is when we wake up. That's when your adrenaline and your hormones kick in that support your sympathetic nervous system. So you had the energy to go. Cortisol is produced, and that's good in the morning because you want to wake up and be ready for the day. Cortisol is not good when you want to go to sleep, right? So when you want to calm down or to de-stress or to heal, that's what you need your parasympathetic nervous system for, okay? So, okay, we have been still at the inducing your parasympathetic nervous system. And you can also induce it through breathing, especially when you breathe through your nose. And especially when your exhalation is longer, or you lengthen your exhalation maybe twice as long as your inhalation. When you inhale, let's say on the count of 5, you exhale or down on the count of 10. And then always between inhalation and exhalation, have maybe at least 2 or 3 seconds of a pause. All right? A pause. And then inhale 5 or 6 or whatever, and then exhale, a pause, and then exhale, double it up, the amount. Okay? That induces your parasympathetic nervous system to kick in. Now, most of us in our hectic times are constantly or mostly stuck. And that's the most important thing. You can be active and in your parasympathetic, in your sympathetic nervous system because you are very active. But then there is also something that is the override. It's almost like you have your when you drive your car, you have your foot on the gas pedal all the time. You don't take it off. You have to take it off when you put the brakes on, and the brakes is like the parasympathetic. It slows everything down. But if you keep your foot on the on the gas pedal and try to use the brakes as well, it slows it down a little bit, but not much. And it stresses the entire system because, you know, you're overusing it. Okay. Breathing through your nose, holding your breath, extending your exhalation is all very, very important and very useful to bring more oxygen in your body and to have the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system working properly. Okay, let's move into diet. We know that diet is just lately in the last decade or so, or maybe a little more than that, all of a sudden, all these different diets came up. I think it started with the Atkins diet and then the Miami Beach diet and this kind of diet and the paleo diet and but before all of that happened, we already knew that the Mediterranean diet was a pretty healthy diet, right? Until the American diet came up with all of these packaged foods and taking fat out of food and putting sugar into food and, you know, all of the chemicals, and it just skyrocketed diseases. And maybe that's why so many other diets lately came up, because we all got sicker and more obese and less healthy, less active, less resilient, more susceptible to disease, all of that. And of course, the first thing you look at is your diet, because those are the things, the building blocks that you put into your body that need to be broken down into the tiny little things that the cells can use in order to build the proteins and build new cells, new synapses in the brain, whatever it needs to do in the body. It needs fuel, and that fuel comes from food. So when food is fuel, then what kind of fuel do you give it? And our fuel has been oversaturated with sugar, oversaturated with carbohydrates, and under supplied with good fats. And all of these vegetable fats came onto the market, and they are all processed and really, really bad for the body. They oxidize in the body. They get rancid. It's the worst. They clog your arteries. It's really, really bad. I only recommend two. Of course, there is walnut. There are very specific, very high, beautiful nut oils, but you cannot use them in larger amounts because they are very specific and very expensive. So the nut that I recommend is coconut, but it must be virgin, organic, cold pressed, you know, the very best. And it's a medium chain oil. It's not like the fatty foods, like in the fat of fish, the fat of meat. That's saturated fat, and that's not bad. I mean, that's what we used to live off, you know, but it became such a bad thing when all of these other oils, when the companies wanted to sell their vegetable oils. there is nothing wrong with the natural of an organically raised animal or natural fish in the ocean that has been caught. Their fat is what our bodies are made to digest. That doesn't give us heart attacks or high cholesterol. No, that's a myth. Whew. But the medium chain organic coconut oil is wonderful. The medium and also, of course, the olive oil. It's the Mediterranean diet, but not the processed one. It has to be really organic, cold pressed, first pressed, and fresh. Okay. And coconut oil lasts longer than olive oil. That's just a fact. So you have to be sure that your olive oil is cold pressed, organic, and fresh. All right. All right. So diet. If you cannot pronounce it, if God didn't make it, don't eat it. Natural, fresh produce and food. Okay, and everybody's tolerance for certain foods are different. But cut out the sugar, cut out these simple carbohydrates, and include more of the rainbow diet in fruit and vegetables. Limit the fruit. Fruit, you don't have to have fruit every day. No, because, you know, when we didn't have refrigeration and when we didn't have the ability to have fruits flown in from all over the world, we had our seasons, right? So there was a season when we had fruit, and the season when there was no fruit around, and maybe we made in the summertime or in the fall, we made some preserves, and so there was a little bit of that, but that doesn't mean fruit every day. So limit your fruit. Increase your good fats. That's organic, always organic, and always first pressed. Coconut oil and olive oil, and natural fats from animals, from fatty fish, and from beef, but it has to be grass-fed and organic, okay? That's good fat. Eggs are good. The egg yolk does not give you high cholesterol. There's so much nutrition in there, but that's a whole different thing, cholesterol. I just wanted to let you know how important a good diet is. And just as important as a good diet is fasting. Intermittent fasting has become very valuable because we are eating too much, too often, because food is available all the time. So there are so many people who start eating in the morning and they eat all the way through to the evening before they go to bed. That is horrific. That is so dangerous for your body. And it, of course, it packs on the fat, because you cannot use that up all the time throughout, because then we sit, you know, and then we are not super active. And also, our bodies don't need all that sugar, you know, and our bodies and sugar energy can be made from fat, right? And digestion takes a lot of our energy. So if we restrict our eating to maybe 5 hours a day or maximum 6 hours in that period of time, then we give our bodies all that other time to be active and to be productive and to heal, and to use that energy to have fun with whatever we want to do. So intermittent fasting and also calorie restriction, maybe once or twice a day, just reduce your intake of food altogether, the calories. Maybe if you eat 2,000 or 2,500 calories a day on an average, reduce it to 1,000 or maybe even to 800 just for 1 or 2 days a week. Yeah. Or just put in a day of total fasting. Whatever you do, fasting is healing. And by the way, your brain works better with an empty stomach. You even exercise better with an empty stomach. You don't eat and then exercise. You exercise and eat afterwards. Make sense? Okay. So, but enough about that, because now I want to go. The first was heat and cold, and then because I wanted to cover 3 and then something else. The second was food, what you eat, and the third is exercise. And when it comes to exercise, there is so much confusion about it. It's not being on the treadmill for an hour. I mean, when you really think about it, how our bodies were made. Our bodies are ancient. What are our bodies supposed to do? They're supposed to move all day, at least 80% of the time, but while you are awake, not sit and lie around. And then they are used to either run towards something or run from something. That's it. Okay? Run towards something in order to catch something, or run away from something in order to save your life. So that makes it quite logical that fast and intense exercise is really the only exercise that our body needs. Yes? You can ask me questions about that, maybe afterwards personally or in the group, right? So sitting and lounging on your sofa signals your body that you are either sick or in danger and hiding, or you're hibernating because you can't go outside because winter is too harsh or whatever. So your metabolism slows down and puts your entire system into conservation mode. So you don't need to spend much time on exercising, but then you may ask me, so what is fast and intense? It can be anything. You can do this on the, jumping jacks, whatever brings your heart rate up to almost maximum in a fast way and then slows it down again. So in order to keep your muscle strength, though, you need to also include some weight exercising, weight-bearing exercising. And I believe that your body is all you really need. Of course, you can get some, I have some, what is it, 6 or 9, some 9-pound weights here. So I can use that. But, to tell you the truth, I can do it even better by just using my muscle and really holding it, my biceps, making them as hard as I can and holding it to a count of 20 or 30 and then let go. And the same, every muscle in your body, you can flex and hold with all of your might. And you will feel that your muscles will be sore the next day. So it works. But then you can also use your body. You don't need to go into the gym for any of that. You can, do push-ups. You can keep your knees on the floor if you like, but you can do all kinds of push-ups on the floor, against the wall. You can do squatting. You can do squats with something in your hand if you want to build muscle in your in your quadriceps, or, you know, in your in your calves, in your calves. Also, you know, hold onto something and go up and down on your toes, and maybe then use something that's heavy in your hands, so you strengthen, you give some extra weight into your into any body, whatever muscle you want to use. If for that muscle you use your hand or your feet or anything to accentuate it, to make it harder on that muscle, that's all you need to do. Okay, but now, and then also just doing your housework, whatever you do in your housework. We can do this in different ways, right? We can do it while we conserve the muscle, or we can do it while we use the muscle even more. For example, you can go down and you can squeeze your tummy in, you can lift something up and squeeze everything. You have control over your muscles. You have total control over your muscles. And don't forget the muscle, you know, that you use to for enjoying intercourse and holding your urine. That muscle is important too. You have control over it when you know how to train it properly. Okay, but now I want to share something with you that I just came across the other day, and I totally forgot about it, even though I used it so much when I was much younger, and that is sprinting. Yes, sprinting. I mean, I'm 77 years old, so somebody will say, sprinting at your age? Yes, I tried it again. It's wonderful. It's really the best kickstart for your metabolism and so much more. It makes you happy. Sprinting uses every muscle in your body. And when it comes to sprinting, you only need altogether maybe less than a minute and a half, let's say 70 seconds in increments. Because you don't sprint for longer than 10 or 15 seconds. Have you seen any sprinter going much more than that? Of course, it's under 10 seconds for the top athletes that sprint 100 yards. And there is no sprint beyond 100 yards, right? 100 yards means in athletics, you're sprinting. 200 is already another discipline. Sprinting is 100 yards. And if you need about 15 seconds, or 20 seconds max, but don't ever go beyond 20 seconds. Then it's not sprinting anymore. You want all the way out. You want to do this like as explosive as you can do it. In the beginning, you may want to start with just 5 or 6 or 7 steps of jogging, and then you sprint, and then of course once you the 10 or the 15 seconds are, or the 20 max seconds are up, then you slow down with a couple of steps again, maybe jogging steps, and then you walk until you I don't know, I have a watch for that, but until your breath slows down again. My heart rate goes up to about 100, up to 148, 155 max when I go 20 seconds full out. And then I bring it down, not to 60 or 55 or 60, which would be my total resting heart rate, but down to about 90 pulses a minute. And then I do the next set, bring it up again, bring it down. And that trains your heart as well. And it's called how quickly you can bring your heart rate down again to normal is your heart rate variability, and it protects you from a heart attack. Yes, it protects your body. It's also a sign of how healthy you are, how fast you can recover. It's so important to do that. So yeah, please do it. And let's talk about it, how this works for you, the sprinting. Yes. So here are all of the benefits. It benefits your growth, your growth hormone production. And we know when we age, our growth hormones are going down into the cellar, right? When you sprint, you signal to your body that your body is young, and it produces growth hormones again. Hold on one moment. I have a nice tea here. It increases, they have tested this, it increases the growth hormone production in a woman by 1,300%. 1,300%. That happens in the night when you sleep. Your sleep will be better. You will sleep more sound, more deeply. It improves your heart health, of course. It improves your arteries, the health of your arteries. It increases muscle strength and muscle mass because you use all of your body, even though I believe you should still do strength training apart from, the sprinting. But you will feel it in your muscles, in your leg muscles when you do the sprinting. This also increases the brown fat in your body, which helps your metabolism. Yes, it helps your metabolism to use the ATP production in your mitochondria. It improves the health of your mitochondria, where that really supports everything in your body. It also stimulates the fast twitch muscle. And that fast twitch muscle we lose as we age. I mean, that's why you see old people moving slow, right? They're slowing down. They lost that ability to, that fast twitch muscle ability. Fast, fast, fast. We want to do things fast again for short periods of time, okay? So it improves your brain, your overall brain health improves, your brain function improves, your mood, and improves your sleep. I can only see say the most incredible things about sprinting, or that whatever you do, fast and intense and short. So when will you start sprinting? Let's talk about that. Now, do not sprint for longer than 20 seconds. I told you that. It's about 100 yards that you want to sprint. It's the perfect distance. And you know that from seeing it, right? Sprinters, yes. And now, when you do that, you can say you are a sprinter. How cool is that? Okay, so overall, to keep your body really healthy is to play, to move, to explore. And the body is made for moving. The happier you are, the more, I would say, the more physicality you allow your body to express in whatever you do, even, every hour during the day, maybe do some whatevers, some jumping jacks, some extensions, some deep breathing. It improves everything in your life. Okay, so you may have a couple of questions there, and I will be open to answer them in the group. But now I want to close this session with, I want to talk about the vagus nerve. I don't know if you even ever heard about the vagus nerve. Many of you may have, and maybe know everything about it. But for those who do not know, I want to talk about it because it is so important and it's so easy to do something for your vagus nerve, because it is the most important nerve in your body. It's also the longest nerve. It travels the longest through your entire body, and it affects everything in your body. So it regulates so much. So where is it? You would say, how can I affect it? Anyway, it comes from the back of your skull, inside, of course, through the sides of your neck. I mean, there are 24 nerves, not the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve is number 10, but there are 24 nerves that come through your skull, along, and they're part on the sides, and 12 on one side and 12 on the other. But this vagus nerve is really the most important and the longest in your body, as I already said. And it comes through that opening, through your neck, and then it comes through here to the side of your neck, under here, down and into your clavicles, down, here through your clavicles, your sternum, and then it goes down, I think, the left side of your body, down around your stomach, down into your diaphragm, and then kind of spreads out into all of the organs from there. Okay, so it affects every part of your body. And from your diaphragm, it goes down to both sides of your body. Your vagus nerve is also called the pneumogastric. Anyway, it has to do with your breathing, and it has to do with your stomach. The vagus nerve kind of connects your brain to your stomach and to everything else in your body. You have probably heard that your stomach and your brain communicate, right? They are very, very much connected. Your vagus nerve also plays a huge role in your breathing. Of course, also in your digestion, because, it connects this. And your breathing, you can affect your vagus nerve with your breathing. If your digestion is poor, you're probably, the tone of your vagus nerve is probably poor. The tone of your vagus nerve is how the strength. It shouldn't be rigid and it shouldn't be flat, right? So just like a muscle, the tone is important. It shouldn't be flabby. It shouldn't be so tight that, that it's painful and it's restrictive. No, it needs to be just right, just like not too soft, not too hard, just right. So it affects your digestion and your inflammation response. The vagus nerve is part of the parasympathetic nervous system. So when you cannot heal, that means your vagus nerve is not working for you. Your parasympathetic nervous system is not working for you, because you can only heal when that is working well. I mean, about the parasympathetic and the sympathetic nervous system, right? Most of us are stuck in the sympathetic nervous system, the survival mode, right? It's like keeping your one foot on the gas pedal all the time and the other on the brake, but never take the foot off the gas pedal. So we often so many people are stuck in this sympathetic nervous system. It's the fight or flight. It's always being alert. It's always being on, it's kind of being on. never switch off, never totally lose the sense of time or the sense of self, or this beautiful state of not doing anything, not being anything, just being in this area of floating almost. Yeah, does this make sense? If you have irritable bowel syndrome, if you have bloating, if you have digestive system, it could be that your vagus nerve is, the tone is off, is too low, okay? You need a good tone so you are more resilient to whatever life presents you, whatever your body is presented with, and that includes all of the outside pathogens, the viruses and the viri and the bacteria, and then all of the insult on your entire system coming from the outside. We need a defense system for that. That's our immune system, right? And there is that brain-gut axis, which means that your brain and your gut communicate. Your immune system happens primarily in your gut, actually. So it is essential that there is good blood flow. I think when I talked about in other episodes, when I talked about the brain, the importance of brain health, I talked about blood flow and oxygen, right? And the blood flow is what really the vagus nerve uses from the brain to the gut. And without that flow, that good blood flow, nothing really works well. Makes sense, right? Because all of your organs signal to your brain via your vagus nerve. That's the connection from your organs to your brain, your vagus nerve. And 80% goes up from your organs to the brain, because your organs ask for help, right? And so then the brain sends 20% down to your organs, activating your vagus nerve. Okay, so anywhere in your body where there is poor blood flow means fewer nutrients get delivered. And when that happens in your tissue, that creates inflammation. It creates signals. It creates pain signals. Because if there's not enough blood flow, there is and oxygen, there is or nutrients through that blood and oxygen. All of that is really the transportation for this for your organs to get the right nutrients. When that blood flow isn't right, then you have restriction, and that restriction creates inflammation and pain. When your cells can breathe, they are restricted, and that restriction hurts. Think about it. If a couple of billion cells in your body can't breathe well because they don't get the oxygen, they don't get the nutrients, that's a big stressor to your entire system, but also to your nervous system. The same with your gut. When you have decreased blood flow to your gut, your immune system is suppressed. And the result is inflammation in your body, and inflammation creates pain. Yes? Makes sense? Importance of enough fluid in your body that supports all system makes total sense then, right? Why do we need to drink water or teas, or, we don't need to drink fruit juices or any, any artificially sweetened beverages. There are some fluids like coffee and teas that are beneficial because they have antioxidants in them. And but basically, what we need in fluid is water, clean, pure water with the minerals intact in them, in the right pH balance. That's what we need, and that helps in your digestion. That helps the blood to transport in nutrients into your cells. You know, without enough fluid, our cells starve. Without enough water in your body, in your blood, oxygen can't be transported properly. So you can breathe as much as you want to bring oxygen into your body, into your blood, but it needs to be transported. And your blood, if you are hydrated, your blood transports it well. If you are dehydrated, you have maybe only 50% of that capacity to be transported into your cells. Make sense? So your cells starve, and they also starve for nutrition, and they cannot, because there is an exchange, nutrition in and toxins out, and that needs fluid as well. So they cannot have that proper exchange either. So you may ask me, so what can I do to improve the tone of my vagus nerve? And which is really not just the vagus nerve, it's the most important nerve, but all of our nerves need fluidity, because just imagine if there is not, if your blood is too thick, or if there is not enough fluid in your lymphs, anywhere in your body, in the membranes around your cells, if there is a restriction of fluid, there is friction, right? There is no fluidity. And your nerves love when there is fluidity, then they can function properly. If not, then they get restricted and dry and aggressive, and everything hurts and nothing works, and it's horrific. So we need fluidity for everything, for better transportation of fluids in the organs, stimulating detoxification. So how do we do this? You can do a lot yourself. I mean, of course, the first thing is drink enough. Drink the right fluids. Drink the proper fluids, because you don't always need the same amount of fluids. It depends on what you do, but your fluids, your body needs water, right? For example, what can you do to tone your vagus nerve? That's what I really want to end with. And also activate your parasympathetic nervous system so that you can heal, and that you are supported in the right mood, that you feel well. Humming has been shown to produce a beautiful environment of vibration throughout your body. So that vibration actually improves even the movement of your cellular fluids throughout your body. Singing does the same, and singing is even so positive for your mood, right? If you don't feel you can sing beautifully, you sing beautifully when you're in the shower. Sing, hum, do whatever, move. And then, of course, there is self-massage. And here are the most important parts when it comes to self-massage and your vagus nerve. Stimulating, loving, treating your vagus nerve in the best way is, you can do this yourself with self-massage. First of all, it's behind your back. So here is, you know, where the vagus nerve comes out. So massage, it feels so good, right? Who doesn't think that massaging the back of the back of your head feels great? Yes, it does. It feels great. So massage the back of your head. It is so good. Then massage the sides of your neck. Yeah, the side of your neck. Massage the side of your neck. Right under your ears, right here, because this is where it all moves through. Under your what are those? Under your, right under your bone structure here. Massage right here. And here, actually, you can also massage your thyroids, which is good too. Okay, but then go down and massage your clavicles, above and under your clavicles. And you know, when you massage right here, that usually hurts. What happens when it hurts? That means you have congestion there. So that massage is very, very important. Massage it and massage it. And even if it hurts a little bit, keep massaging, yeah? Under your clavicles, yes. And then go a little further down. Massage at your sternum, yeah? Massage right there. Massage over your stomach. Massage your belly. Yes, give your belly a massage. You have no idea how amazing you feel after you massage these parts of your body. Yes. Your health will improve. Your DNA will love it, because it gives the signals for everything that's good to be turned on, and it misses the switches of the bad DNA or the defective DNA. It actually stimulates your DNA to repair itself, because your DNA can repair itself. Okay, and after all, be playful. Your life should be playful. It shouldn't be serious. There are serious times, yes. But overall, 80% should be joyous and playful. And wherever you can bring that joyfulness and playfulness into your daily life, everything will work better. You will feel better. You will give your body the signals that you are young, that you are healthy. So it will regulate, self-regulate, self-heal, create the internal chemistry to bring your body into the best possible health. Now, don't just do that once and think you're done. Do it daily if you can, or at least, or maybe every second day. And if you cannot do that, do it every third day, at least twice a week. Or maybe add it twice on the weekend. Well, however, you cannot overdo this, but you can underdo it. So if you think you're overdoing it, I don't think you're overdoing it. Your body will love it. Okay, so that's really it, what I have for you today. I wished I could have done this live within the group. I do not know why it didn't help, why it didn't happen, but I will figure it out. And the next time I do a workshop, which will be next week probably, or follow up on this, I will have it all figured out. But so far for today, bye-bye for now. I love you, and please bring your questions under this video so that I can see them and I can answer them for you. Bye-bye for now.